Hey, you know what? There are things that makes you see a person for who they are. In this case, we're talking about the ANC, right? Remember, I did a video where the ANC told us that they are summoning Jacob Zuma to Lutuli House, right? And then the following letter after that, they said that no, actually, we're not. Look, actually, you know what? There are security threat, and because of the security threat, Zuma, please don't come. Yeah, we will see this hearing after the elections. Thabo Mbeki was heard live on traditional media platforms, right? Officially on national television, he said that no, we cannot postpone this. Fikile Mbalula was also heard saying, "Listen, we need to postpone this," right? Okay, so they postponed that. But then, just after the postponement, the letter of postponement, I did a video about that. Boom, there was another letter. That letter says, "Oh, Jacob Zuma, listen, uh, we are actually continuing with this thing, right? The hearing, right? We'll continue with it, but virtually this time." So the ANC, in a short space of time, made 3 decisions, right, about the same matter. I want you to tell me, how do you feel if you had a parent, or if you have a parent, right, who is supposedly knows what the parent, what she's or he's doing, right, and has his house on order. This parent says to you, tomorrow, please don't go anywhere. We are doing shopping with you, right? And then you say, okay, I'm gonna be doing shopping with my parent. You sleep. Before you sleep, the parent says, no, we are no longer going. Forget about it. And then you say, okay. And then you make some plans with your friends and you say, okay, listen, I'm going to make plans with my friends. Just when you're done making plans with your friends and your parent says, you know what? 2 minutes before you sleep and the parent says, listen, actually, you know what? I think we should be going, we will be going somewhere tomorrow. And I need you to help me with something. And then you say, okay, let me cancel my plans. And then you say, okay, you tell your friends, guys, I'm going to be doing something tomorrow. Let's cancel that plan. When you wake up in the morning, your parent says to you, you know what? We're no longer going there. Just forget. It's a free day. And that parent still wants to convince you that, you know what? I know what I'm doing. I've got everything under control. A good parent who knows what they are doing cannot flip-flop, change their decision from one decision to another in a short space of time. It shows that that person does not know what they are doing. I did not say anything about the ANC because when you tell them the truth that, you know what, there's a problem with this ANC, they want to behave as if they know everything. They want to behave as if they've got everything under control. I'm going to read the letter right now where they confirm that everything is going to be done virtually. I'm telling you there's a problem with in the ANC. They don't know what they are doing. They've lost direction. But before I continue with everything, I put it to you that you do the following. If you are not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Come on, good people, because to subscribe it is free, to like the video it is free, to comment in the comment section below it is free of charge, to click the notification bell it is free of charge, to share this video it is free of charge, to watch this video until the end it is free of charge. Also, good people, come on, to watch the ads it's free of charge, and that's how you financially contribute to this YouTube channel. Speaking about financially contribution to the channel, you can become a member of this YouTube channel from as little as 20 Rand a month. You can also use the super thanks button. In case you don't want to do that, guys, there is a way where you can use my media company banking details to donate to the channel, and you know what I'm saying, we'll bring you more, and also guys want to buy more equipment. So the power is in your hands. Please do the honorable thing as we proceed. Okay, first of all, let me read the letter for you, right? The letter reads as follows. African National Congress, National Disciplinary Committee, NDC, Office of the Chairperson, right? And then it says case number 1/2024. African National Congress complainant and Jacob Zuma charged member. Then it says amendment notice of set down. Then they say, take notice that due to security concerns, right? The disciplinary hearing of the charged member will take place on virtual platform as follows. Date, Tuesday, 7 May 2024. Time, 10 o'clock. The login details will be sent to you by 4 o'clock p.m. on Monday, 6 May 2024. Right? So they're going to be sending these login details to the Zoom meeting, right? Where they're going to be talking about something serious. They will send those things via Zoom meeting. The change of the meeting format has been necessitated by the following facts, right? The facts are security concerns, blah 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 blah. I don't buy that thing. I honestly don't buy that thing, right? I'm not gonna go into details about that, but there's something wrong with there's something wrong with the way the ANC is going about this. Now, there is a guy on there's a Twitter handle on Twitter by the name of Ntokozo Masuku. My name is Bongan Masuku, and I'm reading a tweet, a whole thesis by Ntokozo Masuku. So it's not about the Masugus; it's just about the intelligence they're on. You know what I'm saying? But this is what he said. So I like what he said. This is what he says. President Jacob Zuma's disciplinary hearing is scheduled to take place virtually. Then the next paragraph says, the idea of conducting such a critical proceeding over Zoom is a no. Facing such a serious scrutiny and potential consequences through a virtual platform undermines the gravity and the fairness of the process. It may be suspended, expelled, or judged remotely, which lacks the necessary depth and sincerity that in a person interaction when a person interacts with another person will provide that. I think the first paragraph, he's got it right. You just cannot. But let's listen to the next paragraph, right? And then it says, ANC needs to face Jacob Zuma face to face. Zuma should have the opportunity to directly engage with his accusers, present in his side of the story. Present his side of the story, and defend himself in a more normal setting. Free from the limitation and the potential bias that can arise in a virtual environment. Now, let me say something about this, because some of you guys may not understand the importance of this. You see, when you conduct such an important thing in a virtual platform, there are a lot of things that happen. There was a case of advocate there for that took place. This thing that happens, was it what? The 1st of May? And I know the 1st of May was a holiday. It either happens before the 1st of May. I think it happened before the 1st of May, which is around 30, around there. I'm talking about something that happens in 2024, right? Not something long ago, 2024. The wife of advocate therefore couldn't log into that case. The lawyer couldn't log into that case, got kicked out for some strange reasons. It shows that the platforms, they are not suitable to conduct such a serious hearing. But it's not just about the hearing and the platform being conducive for such a thing. It's just about how you can also manipulate it on your far end and pretend as if it's a fair thing, right? Unlike a face-to-face thing, they, you know what? There's a problem with the ANC. I'm telling you now. When Unathi Nhleko said what Jacob Zuma did to these people, they do not have the intellectual capacity to respond to what Jacob Zuma did to them. At the time, his words did not carry the weight that it now carries. You see them by their actions, right? They are conflicted shame. 2 minutes they are this, 2 minutes they are that, 3 minutes later they are this. You can't release three things all at once. You can't say three different things in a space of a day. In a space of 2 days, it shows there's confusion that is taking place in the ANC. I'm telling you now. You know, these people are old. By the virtue of them being old, you expect a sense of maturity. By the virtue of them being old, you expect a sense of wisdom. By the virtue of them being old, veterans, you expect sense of composure. By the virtue of them being old, you expect very strategic individuals. But from these flipping and flopping things, I'm not getting that vibes. I'm getting vibes of a child born in 2000 and born in 2000 and what 2018 or 2015 that is now tasked with serious responsibility. They just don't know what they are doing. They grab, they grumble, they take this and they take that. They are just reacting. You know what I'm saying? You know, an elderly person is a person with wisdom who knows how to act, not react, but act. I'm not getting such vibes. It just, I'm just wondering now. You know, we've been complaining that the ANC is, look, these people are old, blah, blah, blah. But I think we've been missing the point. These people, the age is too old, but the mind is not too old. We've been missing the mind. The age is this old. The mind is that young. You cannot have the ANC reacting the way they are reacting like this. No, there's something wrong with these people. I'm telling you, there's something wrong with the ANC. A lot of you will not notice it now. But let's get into the next paragraph, which is the third paragraph. He says, the ANC's decision to opt for a virtual hearing is seen by some as a strategic move. There will be no transparency, fairness in the disciplinary process. They are going to bully President Jacob Zuma using virtual platforms as means to exert control and potential disadvantage Zuma, a former president who commands significant support among certain segment of the population. You see, he's making another important point that I didn't notice. That I spoke about how you can manipulate it, but I did not notice that actually it's a strategic move to bully him. But at the same time, it just shows that you could have, if you are a very good strategic individual, you could have done this in the beginning. But for the fact that you did not think of such things in the beginning to say, okay, let's approach this thing in this way. It tells me, as a person that is supposed to be learning wisdom from you, it tells me that I'm learning nothing from you, right? You know, I can be, I may not like the ANC, especially because of they are doing of lately. I'm very grateful about, I'm very thankful about them. I don't want to hear anything about them. If you happen to come across me and you want to tell me to vote ANC, please. Please, not now. Please, please. I'm prepared to have EFF governing the country, but not ANC. I'm prepared to have MK governing the country, but not ANC. Please, please. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, despite the fact that I do not like them to continue governing this country, but at least they must keep proving me wrong. At least they must give me reasons not to dislike them. At least they must, in their actions, they must continuously convince me. But the more they act, it's the more I'm convinced that the decision to have them out of power is the right one. Because these old people are confused. They are reacting. I don't know. It's like, no man, there's something wrong about the ANC. Their intellectual capacity, their ability to comprehend, their ability to strategize, their ability to attack when necessary. There's something wrong with the ANC. I'm going to keep telling you this. There's something wrong with the ANC. You cannot react this way and you think it is as business as usual. No, there's something wrong. But let's read this one. The call for a face-to-face hearing is not just about the technicalities of visual communication, but about upholding principles of justice, transparency, and fairness. It's a plea for for more human and direct approach resolving complex and contentious issues. Let me repeat the last paragraph. The call for a face-to-face hearing is not just about the technicalities of visual communication, but about upholding principles of justice, transparency, and fairness. It's a plea for more human and direct approach to resolving complex and contentious issues. He's raising another important point here, but let me read the last paragraph. Ensuring that all parties involved have the opportunity to participate fully and that the proceedings are conducted in utmost integrity. Ensuring that all parties involved have the opportunity to participate fully and that the proceedings are conducted with the utmost integrity. He said it, not me. He said it. You see, I concur with what he said. Obviously, he belongs to the Sugus, so I must concur with him. Yeah, I must concur with him. There's no other way that I don't concur with him because I'm gonna come on. But again, it's not just about being the Masugu clan. It's just about something that I don't understand is this one. You, 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 you know, I keep telling you guys that when you're sitting with your grannies, when you sit with your grandmother, your grandfather, you know, as they approach their late age, the least that you want from them, it's not necessarily their strength. You're not looking for their strength. They have zero. They cannot run as fast as you can. They cannot eat as fast as you can. They cannot talk as fast as you can. They cannot handle the things that you can physically. So, right. As you grow, you slow down. Most of your things is slow down. It is expected. But there's something that doesn't slow down is the brain. The brain has accumulated a lot of wisdom. So the least that you want from an elderly person is wisdom. Now, what happens in a case where you go to this person who is above 70, who is in her or his 60s? You are looking for wisdom based on their age and their experience, and you get none. They give you a wisdom or they give you words that you can find among 2000. What happened in the case where you just are confronted with such? When I look at the ANC and look at the fact that it is led by people who are of age, I am expecting people that reason in a certain way, think in a certain way, act in a certain way. I'm expecting them to challenge me intellectually. I'm expecting them to somehow dribble me intellectually, be able to convince me intellectually and prove to me that, you know what, you've got it wrong. This is the right way. But I'm telling you, the more ANC speaks, the more they do their things, the more they react to these things, it's the more I feel like, come on. When you face an opponent in any game, you may beat the opponent, but the opponent is going to give you something. If you're playing football and you're playing with a good team, the good team, you may beat them with a high score. Sometimes the highest score doesn't necessarily, is not a reflection of the actual game, but rather a reflection of opportunities taken. Some teams are very clinical, and that's what makes the difference. You'll find that, like today, Man City was, okay, obviously, by the time you watch this video, you'll be saying Wednesday or yesterday. Man City was playing with this team, I think it's Wolves. So they scored 5 goals. Wolves, I think they only scored 1 goal. That's the difference, right? Look, obviously, Man City were very good, but I'm just saying sometimes you find that Man City is not at its best, but they are clinical. So they win the game because they are clinical. You find that Arsenal these days, they are not at their best, but they are clinical. So they win the game with the highest score. Sometimes in life teaches you that sometimes, right? Um, the least that we want from a human being is being clinical in terms of how the wisdom, how you do things. And then while you have your infirmities, while you have your weaknesses, you know what I'm saying? We get it. We understand that the weaknesses must be there. But it is worrying. It's a worrying factor. The fact that you've got people that cannot think, it worries me. There's something wrong with these people. There's something wrong. I'm telling you, how do you reduce I mean, found challenge? When you look at Jacob Zuma and you say you don't agree with him, you say, no problem. I don't agree with Jacob Zuma. For those that don't. The fact is, if you are honest, you can you will come to a conclusion that that man knows how to delay things like he's been doing in the legal fraternity. They took him from this thing, this arms deal. He's able to just delay things. He knows how to delay things legally. So that's Jacob Zuma for you. So you can't help but admire the man for the skills that he possesses. It might annoy you, but you're still learning something from it. Jacob Zuma is able to pull the crowd and he knows how to talk to the crowd. You may not like that, but as an opposition, those are the things that you learn. Jacob Zuma is always 5 steps ahead. As a strategist, Vostembegoya once said, as a strategist, I learn something from the man. I may not agree with how he governs the country, but from a strategic point of view, I learn something from them. This is to say, you may have a tough opponent, but as tough as your opponent might be, you're still going to learn something from that, right? Despite the fact that you disagree with your opponent, but you're still going to learn something from the opponent anyway. Now, you've got the ANC as as an opponent, and you say, Jacob Zuma has already done this to you. I want to see how you're going to react from this. And then they react by, first of all, um, they were not intending to discipline Jacob Zuma. There were a lot of calls that were made outside to say, discipline Jacob Zuma. A lot of people have been saying, discipline Jacob Zuma. They finally made a decision. When they made the decision, it's like, when the water is full and this person does not want to get into the water, does not want to cross this river or whatever, that bridge, because the water are above the bridge. What usually happens is that they put something just to test the water and see if the bridge is still there. Right. That is what the ANC is doing. They're not sure they are not sure about the decision. They press, and as soon as they put the feet in the water, they realize that, oh, Jacob Zuma prepared himself about for this moment. He turned it into his political advantage. That is the strategic part of Jacob Zuma. That is the things that I'm learning from Jacob Zuma, right? Is that he's called into disciplinary hearing and he looked at things and he'll be like, there's going to be disciplinary hearing. That's good. Let me turn it into an MK party rally outside Lutuli House. I'm taking it to them now. Listen to this one. When the ANC was planning all of these things, when they were planning to summon Jacob Zuma to Lutuli House, they did not look at it right. You're telling me that a group of matured people, people who are citizens, senior citizens in this country, did not see it coming. When they took Jacob Zuma to when they took Jacob Zuma to court about the deregistration of Umkhonto weSizwe, about the trademark, about the removal of Jacob Zuma from the ballot papers, you mean you did not notice that Jacob Zuma was using all of that to campaign, and there was always going to address people outside court? In Johannesburg, when they were handing over the judgment, he was there. The private prosecution of the judgment there, Jacob Zuma was there. You know what I'm saying? They were busy doing all of those things. You mean you have not noticed that Jacob Zuma is always using all these things into his advantage? You sat down. You mean senior citizens who supposedly they think better, they are always on their brains rather than on their energy. You mean you were blinded enough not to see that? The moment you realize that MK has they've turned this into their favor by organizing people to be there for Jacob Zuma, to be there and turn this into their favor, you suddenly react from that. You cancel it and then you call it the security threat. There's no security threat. We can see it for what it is. You realize that Jacob Zuma is going to gain more people about that, and then you realize that, and then you change it again. Now you turn it into you said no, you are canceling it, you're postponing it. You'll see it after the elections, right? That was the official letter from you guys. You will see it after the elections. From there, you realize maybe somebody called you and say, no, 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 no. You will be saying that you are a coward. You then made another 360 U-turn and you said, listen, no, 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 no. We are continuing. But now, this time it's going to be virtual. Now, let me tell you something about this virtual thing. There's a video of Fikile Mbalula. Fikile Mbalula was there complaining about the fact that there are people who, there was a meeting where Jacob Zuma, I think, was complaining about how the ANC has been treating him. By the way, I'm going to talk about that shortly. Jacob Zuma was there complaining about, there was a video that was leaked where Jacob Zuma was talking about how the ANC is no longer taking care of him and he's going through all these things alone. You remember that? So he addressed that Fikile Mbalula not long ago. He addressed it by saying that Fikile Mbalula said that there are people who joins these meetings, people are ill-disciplined. Why are they leaking that thing? Already, you know for a fact that that thing was leaked. Today, you want to conduct such a meeting in a very same platform where you know that it was leaked before. You already know that its integrity is going to be compromised because there's a proven track record. Now you're going to take things back to the same platform. What does it say about people's brain? Let me go back a little bit and let me remind you something, because I feel like you need to be reminded something. If you remember vividly, the former Minister of Police, Mr. Nathi Mthethwa, when he said, you remember in the days where Jacob Zuma was trending for for voting with MK? In the days where Fikile Mbalula was busy. I even made a video about it and I said, Fikile Mbalula is campaigning for Umkhonto weSizwe, right? But he doesn't say that. He realized it, he even confessed and said, people are saying I'm campaigning for Umkhonto weSizwe, so I'm not going to talk about Jacob Zuma. But he couldn't stop doing it because it makes him trend. So he went back and he's busy talking about Jacob Zuma, right? And the MK part. Nevertheless, we're not there. Let's just forget about it. Pretend as if it never happened. You've got people, Fikile Mbalula, who, in their own mouth, there's people that surprise me. Like, I'm very surprised. Like, I'm very surprised. At the same time, I'm very disturbed by the way they think. I know they didn't even finish that point, but I'm so surprised, and I'm when you're fighting with a person, you're expecting to say, you know what, hey, I won this one, but you know what, you gave me something. You gave me a run for my money. You gave me something to think about. Though I defeated you, but you gave me something to think about. But when you look at the ANC, it's like, man, these people have came to realize that if you're going to vote for these people, really, there's something wrong with you. If you think that the ANC really have got something to offer for this country, you really need to just think. Their actions now have really told me that they don't deserve to lead this country. I'm telling you now, their actions, like, I cannot support this. The way they deal with, they knew they are dealing with Jacob Zuma here. They know exactly. Even with a virtual thing, Jacob Zuma already know what it's going to do. The moment they realize that MK, I'm going to tell you a footage. Let me share this. I thought I'm going to end this video here, but let me share this. I know they didn't finish that point, but let me get into this one. Look at this. The first letter was that we are canceling this because of this blah 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 thing. There was a second letter. The first letter was to call Jacob Zuma into a hearing. They realized that Jacob Zuma is now using this into his advantage. They released the second letter. The second letter was to there was security concerns. They postponed it to the after the elections. They released the third letter saying no. Sorry guys, let me check this. Yes, they released a third letter saying no. Jacob Zuma, come back. We're gonna be doing it via virtual. Right now, notice that. The second letter was released because Jacob Zuma and the MK party used this hearing to their advantage to campaign for their party, right? The moment the ANC realized that this was now, and in fact, I read something that the ANC, the reason they decided to cancel all of this, it is because of the. I read it somewhere where they said that it's because the local ANC, local MK party was used this to gain political advantage over the situation. That's why they had to cancel all of this, right? Nevertheless, we all know that. It didn't come as a surprise to me, but that's not where we are. Where we are is that so MK turned it into their political advantage, right? They cancel it. Now they're doing it virtually. Look at this. It's Monday. MK is going to release something. They're going to look at the virtual meeting and find a way of playing around it to campaign for Umkhonto weSizwe. The moment they display their plans to use the virtual meeting to their advantage, guess what? Because these people's brains is designed or their brain. I don't know. I'm looking at a respectable way. The reason I'm against this whole thing is because this is done by veterans. Those are senior citizens in this country. They are listening. MK, they're going to, on Monday, chances are MK, they've already found a way of using that into their favor. ANC, they will be told that, oh, MK actually, they've come up with a plan, and the plan is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? The moment they realize the plan is MK, guess what? Chances are they are going to cancel the meeting again. Why? Because these people, they don't plan, but they react. And when they react, now there's a problem with the person that reacts. When you react, I don't know how to say this. If you are playing chess and you are reacting, I'm not a chess player, but I've watched a lot of people. I've got friends who are chess players, so I know how chess works. If you're in a chess game and you are only reacting, you are just a meat and pop or conflicts to the opponent. Because the opponent it does the thinking and when you do the reacting. In any situation, this is my advice to you. When I was faced with a breakup and I saw that this lady is trying to control my mind, is trying to revive my mind, you know what I did? I realized that this lady has planned all of these things. She dumped me, but she doesn't want to let me go. I will explain one day. You know what I did? I looked at the situation. I'm like, in this situation, I'm only reacting. I chose the difficult part, and that is to face the breakup. I accepted the breakup. She didn't want to break up with me, but she broke up with me. You know what they do? They just want to break up with you, put you there, so that when things go well on your side, they will bring you back. So I realized, okay, she's playing with me. So then I'm like, okay, there's only two ways. It's either I react and she keeps me here, or I choose the breakup and I face the breakup. What I chose was the breakup. I told her I'm accepting the breakup. So as we break up now, I'm gone. You understand what I'm saying? Because you know what? There's a problem. You, as a person, you don't react to situations, but you must always try by all means to be in charge of the situation. Do not give your power to somebody else. that when you just have to react. Because when you react, you are reacting to someone who already have a plan that when you react this way, I'm going to do this. When you react this way, I'm going to do this. When you react this way, I'm going to do this. That is where the ANC is. We're talking about we're talking about elderly people here who are supposed to show us that, you know what, we've got the same brain that Jacob Zuma is. What if today I come with an assertion that Jacob Zuma was the brain behind the ANC, right? Will you disagree with me? I don't think you have the right to disagree with me. Why? Because you've got elderly people in the Actually, sorry guys, the battery died while I was still recording, so I had to recharge and you know what I'm saying. By the way, we were still talking about this thing of you having local confused leaders. There's another point that I want to raise with you about local DA protesting outside Lutuli House. But before I get into this one, let me also bring you in, or let me also say this because this is very important for your liking, right? Um, you know, if in your sober and sound senses, you sincerely believe that the ANC is the right organization to lead this country, but they exhibit signs of confusion, it means that you are also as confused as them. Because if you are here, and you know what you want, you will never allow yourself to be led by people who are confused. You will never allow that. You should not allow that because you are in your sober and sound senses. That's number one. Number two, this sense of confusion, it explains itself now. We see it for what it is. We've got problems in this country of crime. Now, when you see people who are as confused as they are now, 2 minutes, they say that, 3 minutes later, they say that. It makes sense why crime stats in this country will keep growing because we are led by people who in themselves are full of confusion. Today they say this, tomorrow they say that. I'll give a practical example about it. We know all politicians lies, but there's a line that you do not cross. When a politician lies, when a politician lies, sometimes they don't want to come and speak the truth and tell you the truth. They will always beat around the bush and run away from you. But the current regime, they lie now. When you catch them in their own lies, 2 minutes, look, 1 minute later, they tell you that you are the one who's lying. And you still want to tell me that you don't see anything wrong with it. Here's an example. Ramaphosa, unprovoked, he goes into he takes a podium addressing the resident of Alexandra. He says to them, izindlu zu-1 million zizokwakhiwa la. Unprovoked. Nobody asked him to say that. 1 million houses will be built. Well, look, we will build 1 million houses. He gives time frame. Unprovoked. He gives time frame. We'll say, no problem. That time comes and goes. 1 million houses are not there. Instead of the men coming back and say, we apologize for not acting upon that, Mbalola get invited by JJ Daban. And then you ask him about the 1 million houses. Instead of Fikile Mbalula to say, listen, we are sorry for lying to the nation. Oh, this was not a lie. Here is the plan. There was a plan in place, but this is what distracted the plan. Instead of saying to us that he is taking us to to a ride. He's belittling our intelligence. He says, no, the president never spoke about the he never spoke about the building of 1 million houses. He was talking about the figmentation of that. Guys, you still wanted to convince me that these people are the right people to lead the country. You say this today, tomorrow you say that. There are things you can lie about, but there are things you can't lie about. The second thing, the president says Give me 18 months, I'm going to deal with load shedding. 18 months comes and go. Load shedding still there. He asked this for the second 18 months. He says, Ramaphosa, he says, look, give me 18 months, I'm going to deal with this. 18 months comes and go, load shedding still there. He appoints a minister of electricity. The minister of electricity asks for 18 months. 18 months comes and go, load shedding is still there. Till today, load shedding is still there. The reason now we've got uncapped electricity is because it's election time. They are trying to buy our votes. We have people here who've got the tendency to lie. Their own favorite person, Thabo Mbeki, said it. He says that the ANC has got the tendency to lie. They give you blatant, we know politicians lie, but these ones, they are extreme liars. Today we still have load shedding. So when it was December 2023, unprovoked, President Ramaphosa, load shedding is going to be the thing of the past. Forget about load shedding. It was December time. Forget about load shedding. People must enjoy their Christmas. December 2023. Oh, we said no problem. Forget Mbalula. Unprovoked during December. Like on JJ Tabana's show. This year is the end of load shedding. Load shedding is a thing of the past. JJ Tabana asked, are you saying load shedding is gone? Yes. Oh, the man is very confident about it. Unprovoked. Load shedding is going to be a thing of the past. January, stage 6, load shedding. Balula is now asking, Baba, you and your friend, Ramaphosa, you said load shedding is a thing of the past, stage 6, January. Now he's being asked about that. It's busy campaigning. Instead, again, of this person saying, listen, I apologize for saying this. These are the reasons why I said this. There was this evidence before me. He goes on and say, oh, people are busy asking me about load shedding. I'm not in charge of ESCOM. You think to yourself you want to be led by such people who deny their own words instead of taking accountability over their own words. They are turning up and making you the wrong person in the whole equation, and you wanna tell me that type of leadership that must govern this country. You wanna tell me that those are the people that must govern this country? No, a leader. We expect them to take accountability. ANC does not want to be held accountable. Okay, that is not as if that is not enough. I can count many instances where this is just highlights. I can count many instances where they say this, tomorrow they say that. They say this, tomorrow they change and say that they say that. We know politicians does that. We are saying the manner and the level in which the current ANC are going about it, they can tell you now that that the sun is this. They will come back 2 minutes later and deny the very same existence of the sun that they were pointing out to you now. I'm saying we've got a type of leadership that does not want to take accountability of anything, right? We've got a leadership here that does not take accountability. Whenever they are called to take accountability, they never, right? They are also, they not only now we are seeing them with the Zuma thing being so confused, but we are seeing them now for who they are. And yet you want to convince me that I must vote for them. Those people, forget and smile. Forget and smile. There's no evidence that suggests that I should vote for such people. Dubai? Okay, let me leave Dubai. Let me leave Dubai, Bongan. There's a question that I ask people. I know, I'm going to go back to the issue of Jacob Zuma. I'm just talking about their leadership. I'm just zooming into their qualities. Yeah. There's a question that I keep asking people, and nobody's answering this question. Instead, people are going for me instead of answering the question. Because if you answer the question, then you get to see whether or not ANC is worth voting for. I keep asking people this simple, basic yet fundamental question. Simple question. Ramaphosa has been into power for a period of 6 years. Point out one or two or three things that Ramaphosa has done for South Africa ever since he took power. Don't talk. You know a lot of things that collapsed under Ramaphosa. SAA sold. Transnet collapsed. This collapsed. Show me things that were progressive that were done by Ramaphosa that he did for South Africa. Don't tell me about the things that he did for the Palestinians. It's good, but not look. It's good for the Palestinians who are going through the sufferings. And I'm not agreeing with people being killed. No, I'm not agreeing with that. But I'm saying here at home, what has he done? The man is rushing out there. He want to look good out there, but here at home, does it look good? No. The man has done nothing for this country. So when you wanted to convince me to vote for them, now let me bring another aspect. I'm just going to show you about this type of leadership that is leading this country. You've got two people that were appointed at ESCOM, Machela Koko and Brian Mlev. When load shedding starts, these two were appointed under the Zuma administration to go and deal with ESCOM. They dealt with ESCOM within a period of 5 months. They were done with ESCOM. No, why ain't ESCOM, man? I mean load shedding. There was a load shedding under the Zuma administration. And then two people were appointed, Machela Koko and Brian Mlev. They went to ESCOM to deal with load shedding. 5 months was enough. They dealt with ESCOM. Look, we dealt with load shedding. And Zuma, after that, made a pronouncement that there's never going to be load shedding. Gone. He was taken out of power later on, but before then, up until the time when he was taken out of power, there was never load shedding. Load shedding was a thing of the past. Right. So it took these two people 5 months. The current administration appoints a minister of electricity who failed to end load shedding. Even when he sets his own target of 18 months, his own deadlines, unprovoked, he came up with 18 months target. Even after 18 months, he couldn't meet his own deadline. Did the Minister of Electricity ever apologize? Let alone the organization he represents, ANC. Did they ever represent? Did they ever apologize to you for for making a promise to you that they themselves never kept through their Minister of Electricity? No, they never. Why? Because they know that today, look, when this time of elections comes, they're not going to switch off the light just to bribe you. And they're now going to tell you about the 350 grand that does not buy even a single grocery. Not enough. Even if you were to save that money for a period of a year, it will not be enough to buy a grocery of a month for 5 people that you want to bribe you with that. I'm saying to you, if the ANC is really they are good for this country, if indeed they are not the selfish ones, because they kept telling us that Zuma is the selfish guy that thinks for himself. If they think for people, and if their leadership is about people, why wouldn't they employ, or why wouldn't they bring back Brian Molefe at ESCOM? Why wouldn't they bring back Machela Koko at ESCOM? To say, guys, we have tried our own, it fails. For the benefit and the interest of the people, let's bring you guys back so that you can deal with the problem here. Why haven't they done that? It shows it's not about you, it's about it's about them. Now you know. Now I'm telling you, it's not about you, it's about them. I know you don't want to hear that because you love them. And I understand that. And I don't have a problem with that. Here's a fact. The fact is, I'm still showing you that there's something wrong with these people, the way they think. They don't think for you, they think for themselves. Right now, they are confused. They can't even deal with the issue of Jacob Zuma. Even in the manner in which they deal with the issue of Jacob Zuma, it just shows lack of intellect, lack of strategist. Here's another example. They say they assessed the situation. They cancelled Jacob Zuma attending the hearings at Lutuli House because of security reasons. And then you say, no problem. DA was campaigning. DA protested at Lutuli House. In fact, as of me recording this video, I've seen video footage of people protesting at Lutuli House. There was never a security threat. But when Jacob Zuma is supposed to go there, there's a security threat. DA was there, shutting down the Lutuli House, protesting around Lutuli House. There was never a security threat. When I say to you guys, there's a problem with this leadership. We need to borrow them our brain because they can't think. They can't use this. They can't. What is attractive about this? Guys, every politician lie. And it's a fact. Every politician lie. And every woman in a relationship lies. It's a fact. Women get when they are West, they sell us a fake beauty. You get home, they remove their beauty, and you're looking at them, you're like, oh shit. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have proposed here. They hide their real themselves under makeup, under all these things, under all these things. Then when they are going to sleep, they have to remove all these things and the makeup. And then now we are faced with a person that you wouldn't have ordinarily loved. You know what I'm saying? Men, when they propose a woman, they lie. Some will tell you that I'm going to afford you, I'm going to treat you better than the previous husband. Then you accept them, and then they actually get, proven that they are Western. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is that at least in these situations, when we see that this person is lying to me, we've got an option of choosing otherwise and saying, listen, no, here, thank you. Dump this person and you move to the next person, a person who might be more original and more authentic. And at least they don't get to stand on our noise and say, you know what, there's no other better husband without me. I'm a better boyfriend. You know what these ones, they knock on your doors and say, oh, you know what, there's no other one who can lead this country better. What do you know about better? Please explain to me. Yeah, guys, just because the ANC redeemed this country from apartheid doesn't necessarily mean that you should vote for them even when they are not developing this country. Dubai 25 years ago wasn't there. Today, Dubai is a destination throughout the world. Everybody wants to go to Dubai. If the people who are leading this country have got a brain, they must have developed this country. Somehow, this country should have been number one in Africa, right? In all aspects. But for some strange reason, South Africa is dictating. South Africa is deteriorating, right? Under the leadership of the so-called, we know what we're doing. We look the ANC. You know what I'm. Guys, how do you have a veteran, a senior citizen who cannot think, and you convince us, hey, guys, you know this thing of Zuma, of them dealing with Zuma, it just exposed a lot of things about the ANC. I'm telling you, it exposed a lot of things about the ANC. Look at this. I read a story not long ago. This one is gonna make you laugh. Let me not laugh first, so that you can have the fun too. So this lady, I can't even hold myself. So, ah, guys, you know what? Okay, let me not finish the fun for you. Here's a story, right? This lady, she owns a salon. She, she got the salon through her own hard works. The ANC people in the area used to visit the salon. Some, they are unemployed. Most of them, they are unemployed. Listen to this. Listen to this mediocre thing. Now it is it is campaigning time. The people that she knows are unemployed. They go to her salon telling her that they're going to create jobs for her when what type of hypnotic, oh, it's a spell. You must be under a spell to believe that the ANC is going to create jobs. Here's a perfect example. 2 weeks before the Ramaphosa wins the elections, guess what he did? He goes into a national television and he puts a figure and he says, I'm going to create this number of jobs. Vote for me. He wins the elections. 2 weeks after winning those elections, he was live on ENCA. Guess what he said? People are going to lose jobs. Have you forgotten about it? Oh, you easily forget. You don't know Ramaphosa. I can say it. I can tell you are not enough of Ramaphosa. Me, I'm enough of Ramaphosa. I'm prepared to have EFF ruling this country. I'm prepared to have MK ruling this country, but not Ramaphosa. Please remind us. Please, guys, I'm well. Please, 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 not Ramaphosa. For the sake of this country, not Ramaphosa. Now, let me remind you, this is what is happening. I may mistaken the company. There's a company that is supposed to retrench people, and that company is Anglo-American, if I'm not mistaken. But it has got to do with mines. That company is supposed to retrench a lot of people. I think it's about quite a number of people, man. If not 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people that are supposed to be retrenched. Ramaphosa makes a call to this company because they've got shares. He makes a call to this company, and guess what he says? You can't retrench these people now. You need to do it after elections. So that company is just holding on until the 29th of May, when the general elections shall be conducted. As soon as the elections are conducted, those companies where Ramaphosa has got some shares, they will then do what they're supposed to do. So the repetition of the things that you saw prior to Ramaphosa being inaugurated or elected as the president first time is something that you're going to see. Firstly, he promised jobs. As now he's moving around promising people jobs, housing, and everything. He's promising everybody that, but he's already made a call, and it was exposed. I'm not saying something that is not there. Go Google it. It's there. Just Google it. You'll find it. I'm not saying something that I'm making it up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not making this up. It's there. Go Google it. There is a company that is just waiting for elections to pass. As soon as elections are over, Ramaphosa is gonna go back, is gonna retrench a lot of people in the mines. We have seen Ramaphosa in his true colors, right? That he's the most greediest president I've ever seen. He's the most selfish president I've ever seen. He's a capitalist of note, right? Then get the likes of Figel Mbalula, who is a flip-flop, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Abu Khalima Mutlanti, who said this today, they are that, who are flip-flop themselves. Now they want to tell us about Jacob Zuma being a flip-flop, or about Thabo Mbeki, who was, yesterday they said they will not campaign for Amasela. They will never campaign for the ANC. They said that today, tomorrow. Now I'm gonna do a separate video about that. Don't worry. Today they are saying something else. They are telling us Jacob Zuma is a flip flop, but they themselves are doing the exact same thing of being a flip flop. I'm showing you something here. There's a confusion that is happening here. We are led by people who doesn't know what they are doing. Do you want to tell me that in your sober sound senses, you want to, on the 29th of May, you want to take your vote to people who have demonstrated that they are incompetency, have demonstrated their incompetence, that how much of incapable they are to handle the country. They can't deal with problems in their own house. Do you know that saying that says charity begins at home? In other words, it says if you want to love, you need to first love at home. By the way, do you know that in Christians, if you're a Christian, if you read your Bible, right, they say before you lead a church and take a leadership position in church, right, they say that you must have led your house. You must have been able to put your house in order. I see people will elect people these days, and you have people that are governing churches these days, and you look at them, they can't even control their own family. But the qualification in the Bible to lead a church, you must have demonstrated that through your family. You must first lead your family, then you can lead a church. Do you see that leadership structure there, right there? You've got a person here who cannot control. This is the same contrast now, or this is the same analogy that we need to draw in terms of the ANC. You've got the same ANC that cannot control things that are happening in themselves. They are promising you that they're going to control things that are happening in this country. There's a saying in the Bible, or there's a verse in the Bible of the book of Jeremiah that says, if you cannot run with people who are just running, if you cannot outrun people who are running with you on barefoot, how are you going to run with those that are running in horses, right? You can't compete with horses if you can't compete with other human beings who are just running barefoot like you. The ANC is promising us that they're going to govern the country better, but they can't deal with the issue of Jacob Zuma. Come on, guys. Please make up your mind. I mean, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. What type of incompetency, what type of... but I've said a lot about this. And I can still say a lot about this whole thing that the ANC is doing here. There's a lot that you can read from this. You cannot handle the footage. This is my last point in this one. For the fact that Ramaphosa bought ANC, it shows that they don't love him. They don't have natural love for Ramaphosa. Right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that for the fact that he bought the ANC to be the president, it shows that this man is power hungry. Right? For the fact that they spent billion buying power for him to be the president, it means that their intentions, it's not for the sake of, it's not to advance your life, it's for the man to fulfill his ambitions. But the question is that, what is the ambitions of the man? Because come on, I doubt it has got anything to do with you. It has all to do with the man himself and the investors. For the fact that he's power hungry, that is willing to buy power, it tells me something about the man. Something that nobody's willing to interrogate. Nobody's willing to look through that. My channel, by the way, once got suspended for going hard at Ramaphosa because the man controlled media. Not long ago, by the way, it was said not long ago. There's a person at SAPC that is going through tough times at SAPC because he doesn't publicize Ramaphosa. He doesn't use the SAPC. He doesn't control the SAPC to the direction of Ramaphosa. And look, because of that, the ANC now, they are against him. So somebody was saying prior to that, it was also revealed that Ramaphosa is trying to control everything in the media, making sure that nobody speaks ill of Ramaphosa, nobody disagrees with Ramaphosa. Hey guys, even these people have got the speed dial, or look, they've got the numbers of the people who are in charge of YouTube. So when we speak the truth here on YouTube, don't think that it's a free place. We will have a free speech here. There's no free speech here, right? You go hard at Ramaphosa, he blocks your channel. My channel got blocked for nothing. It just got blocked for the sake of getting blocked, because Ramaphosa doesn't want people that competes with him, because he cannot compete. He does not have the capacity to compete with people is intellectually. Rather, he bypass systems and then block you so that you don't compete with him, because he does not have the capacity to compete with you. That's the problem with the current regime. They hate competition because they can't compete. It has happened to me. It is not the first time I face things like that, but I'm saying to you guys,